Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into the history of America's favorite sport, football. From its humble beginnings to the global spectacle of the Super Bowl, it's a story of passion, innovation, and bone-crunching hits. So, grab your snacks, get comfortable, and let's kick off this journey. Believe it or not, American football wasn't born overnight. Its roots trace back to the mid-19th century, evolving from a blend of two English sports, rugby and soccer. Imagine a game with no helmets, no pads, and rules that changed almost every time a game was played. It was chaotic, to say the least. The first recognized college football game took place in 1869 between Rutgers and Princeton. It was a wild affair, looking more like a giant scrum than the game we know today. But the seed was planted. A key figure in this early era was Walter Camp, often called the father of American football. Playing and coaching at Yale, Camp introduced revolutionary rule changes in the 1880s. He established the line of scrimmage. The system of downs, initially 3 downs to gain 5 yards, and reduced the number of players on the field from 15 to 11. These changes created a more structured and strategic game, separating it distinctly from rugby. He even helped create the All-American team selection, a tradition that continues to this day. As the 20th century began, football's popularity soared, but it was also incredibly dangerous. Without proper protection, serious injuries, and even deaths were common. This crisis led President Theodore Roosevelt to intervene in 1905, demanding that the sport be made safer. This pressure led to the formation of what would eventually become the NCAA and the legalization of the forward pass in 1906. The forward pass was a game changer. It opened up the field, introduced new strategies, and made the sport more dynamic and exciting, paving the way for the modern passing offenses we love to watch. While college football was booming, professional football was a much more disorganized blue-collar affair. Teams were scattered across small industrial towns in the Midwest, in places like Ohio and Pennsylvania. Players were often factory workers who played on weekends for a little extra cash. It was gritty, tough, and a far cry from the multi-million-dollar industry it is today. Everything changed in 1920. A group of team representatives met in an auto dealership in Canton, Ohio, to bring order to the chaos. They formed the American Professional Football Association, which 2 years later would rename itself the National Football League, or NFL. One of the league's earliest stars was the legendary Jim Thorpe, a Native American athlete who was arguably the greatest all-around athlete of his time. He was the NFL's first president and its biggest drawing card, helping to legitimize the fledgling league. The NFL spent its early decades fighting for attention against the more established sports of baseball and college football. But slowly, it began to grow. The 1930s and 40s saw the introduction of the NFL championship game and the NFL draft, creating a system for teams to acquire new college talent. Stars like Sammy Baugh of the Washington Redskins, who revolutionized the quarterback position with his passing prowess, helped raise the league's profile. The post-World War II era was a golden age for the NFL. With the rise of television, the league found a powerful new medium to reach a national audience. The 1958 NFL championship game between the Baltimore Colts and the New York Giants is often called the greatest game ever played. It was the first NFL playoff game to go into sudden death overtime. And the dramatic finish, broadcast to millions, captivated the nation and cemented the NFL's place in American culture. Johnny Unitas, the Colts' crew-cut quarterback, became a household name overnight. By the 1960s, the NFL was king, but a challenger emerged. A rival league, the American Football League, or AFL, was founded in 1960 by a group of wealthy businessmen who had been denied NFL franchises. The AFL was flashier, more innovative, and featured high-scoring, pass-happy offenses. They introduced names on the back of jerseys and a 2-point conversion. The two leagues engaged in a fierce bidding war for players, driving salaries through the roof. Stars like Joe Namath of the AFL's New York Jets became cultural icons, representing the rebellious spirit of the new league. The rivalry was intense, but it was also expensive. In 1966, in a move that shocked the sports world, the two leagues agreed to merge. As part of the merger, they decided to hold a championship game between the winners of the NFL and the AFL to determine the ultimate world champion. This game, initially called the AFL-NFL World Championship Game, was the brainchild of AFL founder Lamar Hunt, who jokingly suggested the name Super Bowl after seeing his kids play with a Super Bowl toy. The name stuck. The first Super Bowl was played in January 1967. The NFL's Green Bay Packers, coached by the legendary Vince Lombardi, dominated the AFL's Kansas City Chiefs. The Packers won again the next year, and many believed the NFL was simply superior. But then came Super Bowl III in 1969. The AFL's New York Jets, led by the brash quarterback Broadway Joe Namath, were huge underdogs against the NFL's Baltimore Colts. Namath famously guaranteed a Jets victory. And then he delivered, pulling off one of the greatest upsets in sports history. This victory legitimized the AFL and proved that its teams could compete with and beat the NFL's best. It was a pivotal moment that truly unified the two leagues in the eyes of the public. The full merger was completed in 1970, creating the NFL we know today with two conferences. The American Football Conference, AFC, made up of most of the old AFL teams, and the National Football Conference, NFC, consisting of the remaining NFL teams. The Super Bowl became the pinnacle of the season, a de facto national holiday. Throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the Super Bowl produced countless iconic moments and dynasties. The Pittsburgh Steelers' steel curtain defense dominated the 70s with 4 championships. The 80s belonged to the San Francisco 49ers and their innovative West Coast offense, led by quarterback Joe Montana. The Dallas Cowboys became America's team with their 3 titles in the 90s. Each decade brought new heroes, new rivalries, and new stories that captured the imagination of fans. Today, the NFL is more than just a league. It's a cultural juggernaut. The Super Bowl is consistently the most watched television event in the United States each year. With commercials and halftime shows that generate as much buzz as the game itself, the journey from a chaotic student-run game in 1869 to a global entertainment empire is truly remarkable. And that's the incredible story of American football, the NFL, and the Super Bowl. What's your favorite NFL memory or Super Bowl moment? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. We'll see you in the next one.